So now we are on to episode 5, the Hound of the Baskervilles. So all right. So I think this is the last one of the first
It's
part.
coming! Sholmes's cry
It's
pierced
coming!
through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited breathlessly in the stillness.
I'm coming!
The
Chosen
silence lasted for
one!
what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear.
Oh, he's trembling.
Look well, Wilson, Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. For this is the diabolical
Admiral.
Hound of the Baskervilles.
A smoldering Abu. The first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and in Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court. Which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. April 15th, 9:13 a.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. Knock, knock, knock. FBI, open up. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. I don't know how to spell. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san? Yes! What is FBI? Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment. Am I? Susato suplex. Yes, there'll be plenty of those to come. Oh! No, of course not. How silly of me. When did she become the Flash? She's always been the Flash. So, shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in the fightin' fit form. Your life. It's spring at last and the weather is warmer now. but I love the smell of fire and steam rising from the kettle. Oh, would you like some tea, Naruhodo-san? Thank you, Susato, but I'm alright for now. With the green tea Susato makes me from time to time, and Iris's unique herbal infusions, this place is paradise for a true tea lover. Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think? Ah, the Daruma doll I brought with me from home. Still with only one eye colored in. I said I'd color the other eye once I won my first court case here in Britain, but... But you have one, haven't you? Twice, in fact. Because I feel as though I'm still lacking as a lawyer. I tell you what. Why don't you color the other eye in once you think I'm a proper, fully fledged lawyer? If you insist. This is the tea set that Susato brought with her from Japan. Let's hope she hasn't noticed me slipping sugar and milk into my cup when she makes it. It's just so bitter. Tea is a drink to be enjoyed, Naruhodo-san. You really don't have to force yourself to drink it, you know. I don't like to see you screw up your face, so... That spade has been in here since we started renting the place. Oh, that's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel. Yeah, get your tools right. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. I don't want to dig a hole for myself, so let's leave it. Ah, this must be the telegram. Let's see. Ah! No! You mustn't look at that! Not under any circumstances. Alright, I won't. I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san, but you can be very mischievous at times. Then put the telegram away if you don't want people looking at it. There's an orange on the desk. Sad. I've only been here in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already. You could tidy up once in a while. Susato-san, I always say, making a mess is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. And time spent tidying up is time you can't devote to the same cause. And time spent on ridiculous arguments is time that could be better spent on some simple housework. She wins. But I'm supposed to be the lawyer here. What? You mean the chicken police? Take a bite out of crime. So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh! A telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing. Nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. Less telegrams, more teddygrams. I agree. It was just a boring old telegram. It's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. I suppose Soseki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or be just a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness. But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Susie? No, there's no fortnight. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering, what might have become of Soseki-san had he stayed in London? That's all. Kids and their fortnights. You mean, as regards Lord Von Zieks, the Reaper? Yes. I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Flashback! Lord Von Zoinks. Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. My taco truck! Yes, but at least Soseki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. Ruh-roh. If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Von Zieks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Yes, since Soseki-san's trial. He's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So, it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials then? Ugh, just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry? What was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. April 15th, we're in Sholmes' suite. We're just downstairs. Imagine if we had to defend Lord Von Zeeks. How'd the tables turn? Oh no. Good morning, Iris. Iris? What is it, Runo? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. Yeah, so you noticed that, did you? Oh no! Harley isn't in his best form this morning, it seems. Hello. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Good morning. A good morning to die, perhaps. Somebody's a little rough around the edges this morning. Profound sadness. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanched existence. He's in his emo phase. Show me the meaning of being lonely. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much to trouble. Meow! Kitty! Emo is out, Smooth Elmo is in. Oh look, it's Wagahai. Good morning, boy. Meow! That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get there? Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. It would indeed be a fine day to die. Oh boy. I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. fire is burning comfortably in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to a Japanese hibachi somehow. Oh! Look at the photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? It's his hat, isn't it? It could be. He does need a new cup. Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting. Is that supposed to mean something to me? Look at Mr. Sholmes' desk. It's completely clear. Isn't that enormous machine usually on it? We can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's mind, Mr. Naruhodo. Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite. That's scarily plausible, actually. Ha. This is where Iris notes down ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say today? Ah. The Boscombe Valley Mystery. Ooh, how intriguing. It must be the title of Iris's latest work. Oh my! I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us. Suzato-san looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime you could imagine. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris doing much writing recently. There's paper already set up in the typewriter. Look, as if she's about to start. That reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris was in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed. Ah, yes, Mr. Natsume. That's what I'll be doing too once I'm back in Japan, he said that through tightly clenched fists and teeth. These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, I think. If he'd been involved in my case, I wonder if the beefsteak from La Carnival would be on display here. A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Ah! What an entrancing collection. It looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me. Rather like what's on my own shelves. Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruhodo. No favoritism there at all. She is. Mr. Natsume's cat seems to have settled into his new home then. Oh yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy. It would appear his previous owner has completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews are empty as their hearts of the muses. Mr. Natsume had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan. I wonder why he kept him in the first place. I expect he would have taken him if he could. But pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience. Little Waggy. And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable. Meow! Yes, he really is. Rip Kazuma. Oh yes, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from? Oh, you noticed. You are observant, Runo. Look, I used this. It's my latest invention. What is that? I call it the cat flappomat. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? That's right. It can make a cat flap for a little furry friend, like Waggy in seconds. And it can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see. Wouldn't have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap? Well, yes, maybe. But now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris. What? She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Alright, Sholmes. The problem of engineering. You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its melissonant tones would make the flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I have bowed. For days even. Through the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever! No more recitals of unbridled emotion. Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? Don't worry. I'm sure it will come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh dear. Why is this happening to me? How could this happen to me? I've made my mistake. If they take the turn I have for the violin from me, what is left? For pity's sake, what is left? Deduction perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Oh no! Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but Your desk looks rather empty today. Well done, Miss Susato. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale into insignificance when compared to yours. You are absolutely correct. She loves that tea. A little too much. You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windibanks now. Sorry? It's at a windy bank? No! Windibanks. The pawnbrokery. Pawn? What? You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear madam, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbrokery is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh. What's to understand exactly? What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? Imagine pawnbroking couldn't be me. To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks. Banks. On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. And then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things, use the money they've earned. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So, whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at a Windibanks, you see. A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain? Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Oh no, Kitty! Oh, what was that? Wagahai? Oh my god, what? What's going on? That did not sound good at all. What was that? Oh no! Magahai's tangled up in your violin. I think he thinks it's a toy. No. What's he doing to it? Oh dear. Mr. Sholmes' precious violin. Why should I care? What? R.I.P. violin. I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley? Out of the cat's reach if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier, Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. My god, Naruhodo, you can't just say it doesn't look special. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value. So I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every great Pangini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this blanched existence? No! There is none. He needs the left-hand Suzuki method. Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madam? What? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? What do you mean, Miss Sasato? Oh, Susie's right. Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait. It's not even the right size, is it? What's this? Yes, we're now the Golden Girls. I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. Then what? I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. Oh, what? What? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you all right? You're right. You are quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what? Pray is this piece of stringed flotsam. I almost said stringled. Not your faithful performing partner, then. Ah, I see what must have happened. You do, Iris? This is just a simple mix-up. It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. What do you mean by a mix-up, Iris? Well, you see, this violin... this viola, I mean... was at Windibanks until last week. At the pawnbrokers? It's looking to be that way. Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. There's a proverb from the East, with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Yes, indeed. I don't think that's what they mean, but okay. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth? Oh, what a wonderful idea! Last week I pawned my great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Windibank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. No, Susato. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw! Fine state of affairs this is. And why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time. Snap into a Slim Jim. But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbrokery as an extremely secure vault. Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect. Fressing your coffee so obtusely. That's what it feels like to drive the new Ford F-150. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced? We must visit Mr. Windibank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes? Precisely, Miss Susato. Without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs! Stimulate your senses. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with increasingly vacant aspect, to fress your egg ever more obtusely. I don't know what he's talking about, fressing eggs and crunching bacon, but okay. Alright, say no more. Let's go then. Don't worry, Reno. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker's looks like. April 15th, Windibank's Pawnbrokery. What's that? Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before. Susato-san? And that spark of wonder in your eyes? You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this. Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business, too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, sir. Welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo, and it's time to inform Mr. Windibank of our ire. Come! The fight is afoot! Of course she would. Sholmes versus Cashier. Stinky foot. Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes? This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windibank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me. An inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends. Where is he going? No. What are you... I shall have to take my own life. Excuse me, sir. That escalated quickly. I don't think that will be necessary, do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Talk about popping off. Yes. It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. That went from 0 to 9,000, well, 9 million. Yeah. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, "Ah, here it is." You did? Instant ramen speed. And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, 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 no. Stop, my dear fellow. The fault is mine. It's Minute Rice. Uncle Ben's. Is it Rice-A-Roni? It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Windibank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you? I do believe you may be right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I needn't remind you of the peculiar collection of items you've brought through my door in the past. Oh? Peculiar items? In the extreme, ma'am, for example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes, or some such. Oh my! A new full-fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean? Ah! Forgive me! Wait! Before you die! You must tell me more. Oh my god. I wonder, could I ask you something? A gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 pence for it. My clothes? Right? Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry? Aha! But for your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 guineas no less. The colors are exquisite. The design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say. Oh my! 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. 6 pants, not a pant less. I've heard it said that pawnbrokeries are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure stowage. If in that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned. But what happens if they don't pay you the money? Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me. So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then? That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all. Oh my god. The very idea, Mr. Windibank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually. Says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. Mans have high standards. He certainly does. I engineered a simple device, which Mr. Windibank has installed here in his shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windibank? What was that deep sigh about? I must know more. Tell me everything. Wow. Susato-san is really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Windibank. For a chest like that. 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more. It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one of Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? It's okay if you don't want to. And then she tries to steal. She might. I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir. Of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you. On my life. This is all very strange. What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are 2 just below the ceiling. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Very astute. It is indeed a camera, furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. Ah yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary. Yes, so you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look. So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed. But... Did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madame. And what if the incident were to occur in between times? One could only say, that would be a cruel twist of fate. I must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Windibank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not 1, but 2 cameras in my shop, after all. Which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I am very much older. Darkness. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbroker, you know. My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us. Now then, Mr. Sholmes, Allow me to return your precious violin. The very thing. Thank you, Mr. Windibank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you try to pop. Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt. Fear not. Sorry? I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could be possibly harmed. That's not really what I meant. Good day to you then, Mr. Windibank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last. There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain over there. That leads to the storage room, where Mr. Windibank keeps articles that are currently in pawn. Ah, I see. Rated M for meow. There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any larcenous activity. Recommend it or not, it's not something I tend to do. T for T. There is but one key, and Mr. Windibank keeps it in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot, which he slides under his pillow. How on earth do you know about that, Mr. Sholmes? I am a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain. Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder. And the prime suspect if this pawnbrokery is ever burgled. Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there. Mr. Windibank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts. He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. Yes, the Hamburglar. This revolver here. Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article here, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Windibank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed belying his portly size. Oh, you don't mean he'd blow his brains out? Indeed. In recompense for his blunder. Revolver Ocelot. Oh my. But in any case, of course we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it? Look at this! What could this lovely big shiny box be? That, my dear madame, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country. Oh my. Yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before. Shall we listen a while? Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels. I've never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen is of the larger variety, commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played. The ice cream truck. My goodness, what a simply delightful machine. Indeed. Though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course. Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace. What an assortment of things there are on the shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine. You summon Exodia. Those are forfeited items offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn, or colloquially pop, an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at a price of his choosing. Ah, yes. Now you've explained it, I'm noticing little price tags on everything. Of course. Simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping into the void. So, you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform? Never! It embodies my student spirit. Plus, I don't think you should be stripping in pawn shops. Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does? It seems to have two little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you're looking at is a stereoscope. Fascinating. It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself. Oh boy. Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look. Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. We can all be bad at math together. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today. Alright then, I'm going to try it. Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see! At once. Oh. Alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed. Like I'm trying to look at my own nose? What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them. Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic? It is no magic, my dear madame. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Oh. It's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? April 15th. Today's date. Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date. Perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow, such as yourself, Mr. Windibank. And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Imagine that. Well then. When the agreed storage period has passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say. Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job. Look at this. Whatever could it be used for? Oops. I have no idea. Don't give me that look, Susato. There's a small catch just here. Look. We're going to open it, aren't we? Oh my, that's amazing. It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism, which we'll never manage to put back the way it was before. What are you two doing? What, us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. What? Only tuppence for it? That ain't fair, and you know it. The article is barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more. Sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter. Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a proper butcher's at it? I've seen all I need to see, young girl. Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her. Oh, yes. It's the young lady from Mr. McGilded's trial 2 months ago. Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. Gord Bennett, you lot! Hello, Mr. Stodd. I hope you've been well. Eh? What? You remember the end, do ya? Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So, what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us? Nothing to eat? Come to pop that black weasel. Sorry, coat, have ya? What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day. Unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Mr. Sholmes! So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article, and I shall negotiate with Mr. Winterbank on your behalf. Pull the other one. I don't need no help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on, or I'll make trouble for you. As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. Sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. What is that thing that he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? And you! Go on, leave me alone. Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest. Zata can really stand her ground when she wants to. Whatever. Somehow, I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade. No! Okay, hold on. Yeah, well, I am, alright. I'm a Londoner, just like everybody else. That a problem, is it? No, not at all. It's just that, well... Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. Probably got it on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your Chevy Chase. Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines. You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo. Alright then. I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really. Suppose, sometimes. You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade? But not this time, alright? I swear! That thing belongs to me. The disc that Mr. Winterbank is holding. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. Mr. Winterbank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface. Ah, this is a music disc, you see, for use inside a music box. Inside a music box? What? You don't even know what a music box is? You Eastern lot ain't too savvy, eh? I know what a music box is. I just never seen one of these discs before. Small protrusions on the middle disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays. It's so incredible. Tell us what tune is on this disc. Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box, you see. British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. Ah, I see. And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny. That's a packet of lies. He told me he did. He said it was, well... He? Who? Never you mind. It just ain't right. That's all that disc's worth, good money. I know it is. Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you? Ugh. She's been in before, of course. This little tattered Demolian. I see. And brought some dubious article or other with her. Every single time, I might add. Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me. So, is there something dubious about the disc she brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple. Sorry? What do you mean? What she actually brought in was a storage ticket. A storage ticket? So... Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff. What needs storing? Alright, yes. That's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight. But as she gave me the ticket for me, and repaid both the loan and the interest, I was obliged to return the article to her. But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Winterbank. The little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. It's the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh. What? What's wrong with that? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does. So what about the disc then? How does that come into all this? The disc is something else. A new article to pawn. If the girl and I can agree a price. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today. It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket. and the money owed on it, as you say. For this heavy black coat, which you returned to her care, as I'd understood it. That's right, yes. And rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin puts a thing on, she went rifling through the pockets. Oh, you mean... What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady? Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it? If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am. And she immediately tried to pawn it. For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think. Give it up, I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would. Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place? Well, me. Doesn't really appear to be your size. Me, old man. It's me old man's, ain't it? Is it, Miss Lestrade? Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Out of my way, please. Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen. What's your problem, eh? There's no problem, as long as you remove yourself. I've a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve. Oh boy. Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line. Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket. Who are you? How'd you know who I am? The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy to even remember the faces of your victims, it seems. What you mean? From you? Broker. Yes, sir. Exposed. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes, the article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Oh my. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. And needless to say, any music box discs too. No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's me old man's. Well, it was. Now it's mine. Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation. Yes. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. Miss Lestrade, is what the gentleman is saying? What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on my life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now? No, I swear it. I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street, minding my own business, when this little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets. Yet again. Oh yes, as you can see, I am a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time I've been targeted by these back slum scoundrels. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Come along now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police. Hold on. Why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this dandy cove. And you think I'm the dodgy one? I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you. Well, what about evidence? Yeah? Where's your evidence that I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it. Oh, I have evidence, naturally. You what? Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman. Of course, we need only consult Mr. Winterbank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant! I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. My potato gone? Your potato time is up. I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. But why not? Well now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity. Yes, I see. Oh, you're on the same page as me? How exciting. But then, how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it? Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir, might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Of course, it's Professor. Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article, without doubt. A watchword? Interesting. Is he supposed to be like some sort of Professor Layton? So, about these watchwords, Mr. Winterbank, as I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why. Certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. Because they act in sus. That Wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets. None at all. Yes, well, anyway. That's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. The watchword is watchword 1 and he requires letters and numbers. This would be a fun place to shop. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, a description, and a watchword uniquely identify each item. What's the password? And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article. That's right, sir, yes. Just as soon as the requisite fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already. But for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat, deposited 2 months ago on the 15th of February. With a watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir. But ow! Really, this is beyond a joke now. There is no further room for doubt. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Though clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, sorry. Yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. Sir, what are you doing? Right? He completely gives off Mad Hatter vibes. Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown-colored soup, dressed up with exotic spices. I don't know what kind of soup he's talking about, but okay. You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about? Perhaps. Anyway, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first before inquiring after the name of another. I'm at soup! What are you doing at soup? I'm at the soup store! Of course, yes. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, a student of law, really. My name is Susato Mikotoba. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see. And we're shopping at soup. My name is Benedict. Yes, Egbert Benedict. It's the Eggman! Enchanté. He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks. But that name is suspicious. Now, to the matter at hand. My overcoat. Return it at once. To someone with the style to carry it off. It's Benedict Cumberbatch. Every move he makes, every breath he takes. I can't stand watching him. So let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Egbert Benedict, sir. With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back. This is why I ate grown-ups. Just because I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar. And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. But of course, sir, here is the disc for you. Yes, she ate them. Just this one. Pardon, sir. I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another. Another disc? Oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Gutterling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Says who, eh? I don't know nothing about it. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute. That disc is mine. Ah! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Challenge her to... He is challenging her to a duel. Oh my. Yes, there's blood on the disc. It's because of all those sharp little bumps. That man must have scratched his finger on them. I found it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me old man. So you're not having it. Oi, you take it. Me? If I hang on to it, they'll have it off me again, so you keep hold of it. Miss Lestrade, Why is this disc so important to her? The music box disc has been entered into the court record. We're not even in a courtroom! You there, in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please. No, don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are all liars. What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? Mr. Sholmes? What are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. Oh no. So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. Cruelly ostracized as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in the desolate place. whilst as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, this 7% solution of caramel. Pray do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? How could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes, I simply feel awful for you. Take care, Jade. It would seem that my inferences are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again? My dear madame, sometimes I wonder where my genius for deduction to be commoditized. How much could I pawn it for? It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration. But who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Well, Miss Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament. He needs to lay off the 7% caramel. Where the blue blazes have you been, eh? Pardon? When a lady's in trouble, a true gent's supposed to be there to help straight away, not an hour later. Harsh. And who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Egbert Benedict. You have, in my eyes, a veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon. First is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation. One you will orchestrate with the intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? How? He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Just who do you think you are, sir? Ah, yes, as I hoped. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. So, you go that way, I'll go Holmes. Shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. First of all, we must ask ourselves, on what business you ventured into this pawnbrokery today? You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. You've activated my trap card. Evidence! Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. Piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement from this very shop. Yet even the most unobservant would soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need of such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you unwittingly clutch to your person, exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot. I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. The end of any walking cane would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. And yet detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of the stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there is only one conclusion. That rod you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. Sounded like you ripped his pants. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking cane demands such a stout handle, mused I. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod is the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. To tunnel underneath the pawnbrokery. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of the elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there? Show me your moves. Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose. Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is ample reason. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. And your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this, and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewage works, beneath this shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs under the bank of the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in very close proximity to the great vaults of the financial institution opposite. What are you? In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, the picture postcard tells us all we need to know. A postcard of the Great Exhibition. I'm afraid you've quite lost me. Currently in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway. We're going on an expedition. And the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank on the other side of this road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating. Is the theft of that which sits in the vault of the bank, the special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Of course, that is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle. Mr. Sholmes. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. An impressively upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true what you said about the bank over the road? And what it has in its vaults? Indeed. Though few know of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me, in the strictest confidence. So you just told everybody in this shop? But you just announced it to everyone here. Thank you, Susato. Rather loudly, in fact. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be but one explanation for that. Clearly, it is because the man is a criminal. But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, Then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windibank will. He already has plenty of shovels here, after all. Oh, my life! I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. Says the one who just spout out a whole bunch of information. One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them. And once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea! Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to that great deduction again, and see if we can massage it into shape. Very well then, let us start once more from the beginning. So I can let my voice rest.